Welcome back to Godless and Grounded. Every year, billions of people across the world light candles, burn incense, chant prayers, walk barefoot on hot roads, offer sacrifices, and perform sacred rituals. They fast during holy months, pour milk over statues, circle shrines, and donate to religious institutions with the hope that some unseen power will improve their lives. More specifically, many of them hope that these rituals will bring prosperity, end suffering, and somehow magically solve poverty. But here's the problem. After centuries of rituals, offerings, and prayers, poverty still exists. In fact, in many of the most religious societies on Earth, poverty is not just present, it is widespread, severe, and generational. This raises a critical question. If rituals truly had the power to change material conditions, why are they failing so consistently? Let's take a moment to examine this from the ground up. What is poverty really? Poverty isn't just about a lack of money, it's about a lack of access to education, to healthcare, to clean water, to safe housing, to opportunity. It's about being born into a system that gives you fewer tools to survive and even fewer tools to succeed. Now the question becomes, how does pouring milk over a statue, or lighting a candle in a temple, or reciting the same words every morning and night actually change these material conditions? The honest answer is, it doesn't. It can't. Rituals may offer emotional comfort or a sense of community. They may bring temporary peace of mind, but they don't build schools. They don't create jobs. They don't eliminate corruption, or fix broken infrastructure, or redistribute wealth. They don't vaccinate children, install clean water systems, or build affordable housing. If rituals could solve poverty, countries like India, one of the most religious nations in the world, would be among the most prosperous. Millions there perform religious rituals daily. There are countless temples, priests, ceremonies, and festivals. Yet India still struggles with large-scale poverty, malnutrition, child labor, and economic inequality. The same is true for many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, where belief in supernatural intervention is high, but human suffering remains unresolved. Now contrast that with some of the most secular countries in the world, like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, or the Netherlands. These societies are not particularly obsessed with ritual. In fact, church attendance is extremely low, and belief in divine intervention is not widespread. Yet these countries have some of the lowest poverty rates on the planet. They invest in strong education systems, universal health care, worker protections, and social safety nets. They've reduced homelessness, increased literacy, and created systems that lift people out of hardship. It's not because they prayed harder, it's because they built better systems. They focused on evidence, policies, and human-centered solutions. They didn't ask the gods to fix their problems. They got up and fixed them themselves. The core issue here is responsibility. When we rely on rituals to change the world, we're essentially outsourcing responsibility to an invisible force. We're saying, this problem is too big. Let someone else, someone divine, handle it. But when we do that, we stop looking for practical solutions. We stop demanding accountability from leaders. We stop investing in real change. In fact, in many cases, rituals are used as a smokescreen to avoid real solutions. Governments and institutions sometimes encourage religious ceremonies and fasting campaigns while ignoring the roots of economic suffering. You'll see politicians attending mass prayer events to end hunger, while cutting food subsidies behind the scenes. You'll see billion-dollar religious organizations asking poor people to donate what little they have, promising them divine rewards, while doing almost nothing to eliminate structural inequality. Let's be very clear. No god has ever descended from the heavens with a bag of rice, a school curriculum, or a vaccine. Every real solution to poverty has come from human hands, from scientists, teachers, doctors, engineers, activists, and reformers. It's always been people solving the problems of other people. Rituals also create a false sense of contribution. When people are taught that lighting a candle or saying a prayer is doing something, they may feel like they've made a difference. But this can prevent them from taking meaningful action. Instead of volunteering, donating to evidence-based charities, or pressuring their governments to make policy changes, they spend time repeating rituals that ultimately lead nowhere. And it's not just about what rituals don't do. Sometimes they actively make poverty worse. In some regions, families spend huge amounts of money on religious ceremonies, money that could have gone to school fees, medicine, or food. Poor families are pressured to host expensive weddings or funerals to honor tradition, pushing them deeper into debt. Sacred festivals often require extravagant offerings, gold, livestock, or other valuables, while the children of those same families go to bed hungry. There's also the mental toll. When people believe that poverty is the result of sin, bad karma, or divine punishment, it creates guilt and shame. Instead of organizing for social justice, they blame themselves for their situation. And when people are told that wealth is a blessing from God, they stop questioning economic inequality. They believe that the rich are favored by the divine, and the poor must have done something wrong. This mindset protects the status quo and keeps people passive. The truth is, poverty isn't a punishment, and wealth isn't a blessing. Poverty is a systemic issue. It's rooted in history, colonization, exploitation, corruption, and inequality. And if we want to change it, we have to deal with those root causes, not just cover them up with incense smoke. And let's be honest, if rituals truly worked, there would be proof by now. Humanity has been performing them for thousands of years. We've prayed, sacrificed, fasted, and chanted in every way imaginable. If that approach were effective, poverty would have been solved many times over. But instead, the most progress we've seen has always come through human action. Vaccines, literacy programs, microfinance, civil rights movements, infrastructure development, and legal reforms. Does that mean rituals should never be practiced? Not necessarily. People have the right to their personal traditions, but we must be honest about what they can and cannot do. They can offer emotional comfort, but they are not substitutes for political action, education, or economic planning. They can bring communities together, but they won't eliminate injustice, feed the hungry, or build futures. The danger comes when rituals are treated as solutions, when we replace action with symbolism, when we trade responsibility for superstition. That's when they stop being harmless tradition and become a roadblock to progress. And it's not just in religious communities. Even secular people can fall into ritualistic thinking, repeating symbolic gestures instead of taking real steps toward change. That's the deeper issue here. Are we engaging with the world in a way that makes a difference? Or are we going through the motions just to feel better? We live in a world where technology can send rockets to Mars, where surgeons can operate on unborn babies, where data can predict famines and earthquakes. We have the tools, knowledge, and capacity to end poverty. What we need is the will, not divine will, human will. So the next time someone tells you that a prayer drive or a mass ritual will end poverty, ask them, has it ever worked? And if not, why keep doing it? Poverty isn't a curse. It's not the result of God's anger. It's a man-made problem that requires human solutions. If we want to create a just and equitable world, we need to stop looking toward the heavens and start looking around us. Because in the end, it's not rituals that solve poverty. It's us.